This is Pod Populi, podcast for the people.
Welcome to the Real Pink Diaries, a podcast about the beautiful chaos of figuring it out as you go.
Hosted by three close friends, each episode creates a safe space for honest, unfiltered conversations about the in-between moments of adulthood.
From building businesses to setting boundaries, we're here for all of it. With humor, vulnerability, and heart, it's not always polished or perfect. It's the Real Pink Diaries.
Yay! Welcome to the Real Pink Diaries. This is so exciting. Today we have a very, very special episode ahead. But this is Natalie.
Melissa?
Amy,
And
I'm Summer.
Yay! We had Sommer Rowan today here. So how are you guys feeling? How are you feeling, Summer?
I'm so excited. This is
Yeah.
so fun. And I just love pink. So
Do you like
this is
do you
great.
like the pink microphones?
I do. I want this at home when I have to give directions to brothers, husbands, children. This would be great. But maybe that's my Christmas gift this year to myself.
I'm in this study group right now, and they recommended like using a headset with like a microphone, and I got one, and it's so much fun, and I feel like an air traffic controller. but my computer, the microphone jack, it keeps on cutting out. So I also bought, for some reason, a microphone with a USB connection, which I realize is not as good, but it does have like a foamy thing too, and I find myself like playing with it a lot in the meetings and moving it a lot in the meetings. I am kind of worried though, because I'm not using headphones, so I always try to mute myself in the meetings.
Gotcha.
Okay. Can we talk about this? What's happening here?
So beautiful. It is your birthday.
Happy birthday.
Well, almost.
Oh, on
In 2
Sunday.
days. Yeah, 2 days will be your
Sunday,
birthday.
But we're celebrating today.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. You look gorgeous.
Yes, so I've got this fabulous headband and these glasses, which say birthday. What is it? Birthday queen.
Yeah.
Yes, and thank you, Natalie and Amy. I was about to say Natalie Yaima or
It's
Yaima.
okay. We're still working on that.
Yeah.
She knows me only by Natalie, so that won't be a problem with her. Yeah. How are you feeling, Amy?
I'm feeling okay.
Yeah.
I'm got a lot out. I stress cried yesterday, and so actually I'm feeling
Oh.
really good because I got that stress
You see,
out.
I cry at least once a month. That's helpful. It's
And
therapy.
It's only when I've like either figured something out after the stressful event and it's over, I like release the tension because I've
Yes.
solved the problem.
Yeah.
And so I did that yesterday.
Good. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I find that the same thing too. Like, if I have anxiety, a lot of the time, like I'll hold it together for the deadline, and then like Saturday morning, it will all hit.
Yeah. No,
it's always
it
the
does
case.
release.
Can we briefly, before we jump into the episode, talk about the weather today?
Oh my God,
Please.
it's so nice.
It's Halloween today. It's today the 31st. Wow. Yeah. And the weather is gorgeous. We had a beautiful day yesterday. Today's in the 60s, which is like winter for us.
For Floridians, yes. 60s are winter for Floridians.
But such a beautiful day out.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
been so nice.
I know we can finally wear our Halloween costumes and not like
Yes.
sweat. It'll
Not
be
die
Yeah,
in them.
that'll be good.
Which
finally.
growing up, where I did, we had the opposite problem. So.
Oh, you had to make sure that the Halloween costumes were covered enough because you would
Yes.
be cold.
Yes, and it ruined every costume because you want to be a Disney princess, you have to wear a long sleeve shirt under and pants under the dress and sneakers and a parka. And it's like, then what's the point?
What's
you know?
the point?
Yeah, you can only.
You don't feel like a pretty princess in a parka, let me tell you.
So where are you from, Summer?
Well,
So
let's talk
before,
about...
I wanted to introduce her. So I want to read this because I feel it's so good too. So today we're sitting down with Sommer Rowan, a Palm Beach real estate agent, wife, and mom whose journey from Buffalo to South Florida is marked by resilience and renewal. After a life-changing car accident in college and years of navigating a chronic illness, Sommer has gained a tremendous amount of knowledge and perspective through her healing journey. She found strength through holistic care and faith, lessons she now carries into motherhood, business, and everyday life. She also happens to be my friend, and I'm so happy to have you here. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your time today. But I am so blessed and honored for you to be in my life and have met you.
Oh my gosh, I feel the same. I think that you and I both were some of the first people we told about our pregnancy. And we were new friends too. You just could tell that we would have like a very long friendship from the start. I just felt you always felt like an old friend. Yeah, it was
we were like the newbies. I know you from Sotheby's.
Yes, that's right.
That's how we met the first time. It was like a Christmas party.
It was a Christmas party during like COVID. It was 2020, I think, right? Or 2021 maybe?
I think it was 2021 maybe. Yeah.
And we were both new at Sotheby's, and we
was just an instant connection.
And no one was really going into the office, so no one knew us, and there was no one else really knew, and it was just us, and instant friends.
I think we happened to be like the youngest people.
Yeah, well, that probably as well. And you had just had Ethan, so you were sharing what it was like, and I was preparing mentally to maybe have a kid at some point soon. So I had just gotten married that year. So
we were at that time very aligned. Our lives, like marriage, kids, all of that.
And Sotheby's is where they work.
So we're both real estate agents in Palm Beach. For Sotheby's. So all right.
So getting into that Halloween costume of being ruined from, where did you grow up?
So I grew up in Buffalo, New York. It was very cold. It's a great place. It has a lot of heart, especially when it comes to the Bills, which currently my 2-year-old has been learning the Bills chant, and that's been very helpful because my husband's a Patriots fan, and that's a big deal. But we have a song, and they don't, so that's been like very helpful for a 2-year-old boy. But yeah, so I grew up in Buffalo, but my grandfather had a home down here with my grandmother and my grandfather, and then they had businesses down here growing up. So I grew up coming back and forth a lot. Every vacation and every chance we got, we would be down here.
From New York to Florida.
From Buffalo to specifically Palm Beach. Yeah. So even though this is a long way away from Buffalo, for me, it's very much also home. And so then when I was looking at colleges, everywhere I looked, there were snowstorms. And I felt like it was God's way of telling me, you need to be in the sunshine because your name's Sommer. And
sorry, that was loud.
I mean, it's true. But no, I loved it. I played squash, so I was looking at schools for squash. And then I gave up that dream to go to Palm Beach Atlantic down here in Florida, which turned out to be a great decision. But it was like a home away from home. I also get really homesick because I have 4 brothers and I'm very close to my family. So I knew they'd visit here, like no offense to Cleveland, Ohio, where I was looking, and Fairfield, Connecticut, great places, but I was like, not a lot of visitors. So I knew I could kind of coax friends,
attract people here.
And family to come visit me here. So it worked. I got 2 of my brothers to move here full time. So
ooh, wow.
Yeah.
So they're still here?
Yep, they're still here. So my youngest brother is actually at PBA now. He's one of the twins. So there's a set of twins at the bottom there. And then my older brother, I got him to move here, and he met his wife down here. Ironically, she was also from Buffalo, but they met here. Yes. And they just got married like a month ago, and they live here. She goes to law school in Miami. So it's been great.
So you're the middle child. So you have an
I'm
older
the second
brother.
oldest.
I
am the second oldest. My brother and I are a year and a half apart, and then there's about 7 years, and then I have my brother Walter, and then the twins are about a year and a half after that. My mom had 3 under like 16 months, I think. I don't know if I'm doing the math correctly on that, but it was a wild childhood.
God bless her.
Oh my gosh, I don't know how she did it. I mean, my grandparents lived across the street, so that definitely was helpful.
Oh my God, that's nice.
They're the same ones that lived here.
Yeah, I mean, a village.
Yeah, so we got sent over there a lot, which was great. I mean, we loved it. We had a great time.
So you're surrounded by boys.
Surrounded. And then I have a son, which was no surprise to anybody. And then I got pregnant again, and I was like, yes, this is it. This is my chance. And then sure enough, it's a boy. But I'm really excited about it. I'm super excited. I just was like, can I not make one if I can't get one? But no, it's great. I honestly have great sister-in-laws, so I feel very blessed in that area, as I'm pretty close to all of them, the 3 that I have so far. There'll be 3 more coming down the line, but so far so good.
More girls coming to the family.
Yeah, and they're
not alone anymore.
And I know what to do. I know how to raise boys. I helped my parents do it, so I feel very
comfortable.
Comfortable. It's like a preset. I'm ready to go. It'll be fun.
Yeah, and you have the background. You said it wasn't lacrosse. What did you play again?
I played squash.
Squash.
Yes, I also figure skated, and that was my main sport for like 10 years, maybe longer.
That's intense.
But it was intense, and there's no college like scholarships for that, and it's very expensive. So I switched to squash and loved it, and got recruited for D1 squash, which was amazing. To be fair, they only have D1 squash, but still, I was a recruited D1 athlete. But yeah, it was fun, and I just wanted to be down here. I felt like this was where I was meant to be.
So you're mentally prepared to be a sports mom.
Yes. Oh, I'm all in. I already had my son in a sports class before he was technically old enough, but he loved it.
What kind of sport?
I did like the sports class was Zen Hippo.
yeah.
So they did a little bit of everything. He was supposed to be a year and a half, and he was like a year and 3 months, but he was like running around and loved it. And it was very funny because I could tell he was my kid. When he would get up, they would practice like shooting in the net, and the kids would like dive, and they weren't really into it. And my son would stand there. I have so many videos, and he was just looking around like, okay, are we gonna shoot? And then he would shoot, and a kid would dive in front of him or whatever, and he'd stand there like, what are we doing? Like, just the look on his face. I'm like, oh, that's my kid. That's my face. I would be annoyed too. They were adorable kids. They were kids being kids. But then you have my 1.5-year-old, like, we're supposed to shoot it in the net. That's where it goes. It was just like very
That's
funny.
so funny.
So, okay, so you moved to Florida, and then real estate, like, how did that come about? Like, you've reinvented yourself a lot. So how did that?
I think the ADHD really helps with different hyperfixations that I have, but I do stick with them. But my grandfather was very interested in real estate, and my family has a construction background. My great-grandfather did construction, and then my grandfather did a little bit of it as well. So I think that interest is maybe generational, but he was down here and would look at different properties and own different properties. And even as a little kid, I would want to go look and explore them, especially down here because you have such a mix of, different designs and sizes, and you have little cottages, and you built in the 1920s, and then you have these massive, beautiful brand new mansions. So, it's fun. And so I always enjoyed doing that. And then when I got to college, my grandfather passed when I was in high school. So my dad kind of started taking that over and had buildings, and I was the one down here. So he's like, hey, can you manage this building? And
Okay.
I learned very quickly that property management maybe isn't my favorite thing, but I got a ton of experience really fast. I managed a building for him during COVID that was like 20 units. In if you've seen Schitt's Creek, that's basically what I was running over on Singer Island.
Oh my gosh!
And I learned a lot. It was really fun. Those are some stories for another time. But
just in general, getting out of your comfort zone and
it definitely made me get out of my comfort zone.
And learning. It's empowering at the same time. There's like a point that you're like, I don't want to be doing this, or what the hell am I doing here? But you learn so much about yourself in a sense, and how to apply it to other people.
So with the property management, that was residential or commercial?
Well, the first building that I managed, it was only, I think, like 8 units, so it wasn't very large, and everyone had been living there for a while, and that was on Palm Beach. So that was pretty easy. I basically got checks, delivered them. Yeah. What?
Yeah, residential.
Residential.
Well,
sorry. Thank you.
Said that people were living there. I was like, well, some people do live in offices.
That one, I'm sorry. Yes, they were, but they weren't like small. It wasn't just 2 to 4 units. It was like 8 units and then 24 units. So sorry. Yes, thank you.
But
Natalie.
that's a large build. For
just starting
one
out.
person to manage, even 8, even to 20.
Well, the other thing is technically we ran it as a hotel, so.
There's even more work.
It was interesting. That's why I'm like, it wasn't
Yeah.
commercial, but it felt like it was maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, so when I first ran that first building was easy. It gave me a really small slice into what I was about to get into. And I do anything for my dad pretty much. So he bought this 20-unit building during COVID and was like, hey, can you go over? Everyone pays in cash and you have to go over after work. And I was like, I think I was 22, 23. I was like, sure, Dad, whatever. Yeah, great. I go over there and I learned a lot very quickly in that one visit. Oh my gosh, it was terrifying. But some of the people were great. Some of the people weren't great. There's so many stories from that.
Well,
so
always a learning curve and experience that you have in your belt now.
Yes.
Yeah, under your belt.
Yeah.
It sounds like you connected with a lot of different people in that experience.
I did.
But also in real estate too. Like, what's your favorite part about like connecting with people?
Well, you spend the most time at home, right? And you spend your time making memories there and having holidays and building a family if that's what you choose to do. And so for me, being a small part in finding someone's forever is really, or not, maybe not forever, but forever for a little while.
Some people aren't the forever home.
Yeah, some people forever, some people a little while, or it's a second home, and they're making, it's being a part of someone's everyday memories and getting to see how excited they are. For example, one of my good friends, I found a house for her in 2022, I think, and I go visit her all the time because we're close friends, and she just loves her home, and she's doing a beautiful job decorating it, and there's so much love there. And so getting to be a small piece of the beginning of that was so special.
Yes.
And so you don't always, as a real estate agent, get to go continuously visit your clients' homes. So it's fun to just be able to see that they're making so many beautiful family memories there, and they're adding to their family, and she has chickens, and it's just amazing. So my son loves going over there, and he picked out an egg, and he had a great time. But it's just fun being a part of that. I love helping other people. I don't know if that's because I'm the only girl of 4 boys and I had no choice growing up, but I really do get it just really heals me inside to be able to help people. So it's such an honor, honestly. I don't know, like you probably feel that way too. It's such an honor getting to help with something like that.
It's very exciting. I don't know if that happens to you too, but sometimes you connect so much with some clients more than others, but some clients you're really like, you miss them. Like, when the deal is done, I'm like, oh, I want to keep talking to you every day. Can we just do something? Like, I miss them sometimes, but it is something about like just being part of that process, of that excitement. I also I work with Amy when she bought her.
It was definitely emotional.
Yeah, it was very emotional.
I broke down and cried to her a few times. I'm not gonna lie.
She's like, I don't know. I remember we were on the phone like one night, like at 11 p.m. or something, figure something out.
Exactly,
I don't know how you do this.
It's a lot of problem solving and then a little bit of counseling. And I love both of those things. I love being there for people. I love walking them through things. So
and one day it looks like everything is going well, and the next second everything is going downhill. And
I have called you so many times, whether I'm doing a deal with you or not. I'm like, Natalie, guess what happened?
Yeah.
I think it's interesting because your degree was in marketing and
public relations,
which is very in hand with real estate, because we do a lot of marketing, a lot of like sales. Also, we kind of have to wear many different hats just in one person. Like we have to play the role into like playing with the emotional part of the transaction, but also the business part of the transaction. And you building your brand, you have to advocate for yourself too. So you've
done a great job at that.
I'm just like you too. Picture, because it's Halloween right now, so I'm just picturing you guys like it's a roller coaster going into, like, as you said, first it's going really well and then it's not. So I'm just picturing you like putting on different costumes on a roller coaster going 1,000,000 miles an hour. And that's why I was like, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do it.
At any degree, I think like marketing and almost business you come out with a skill set. Like you know how to either build a business or market and support a business. And what's fun is then you got to decide where to apply that. And you applied it to real estate. So were you doing the real estate stuff your freshman year of college?
I was, yes. Really? Just helping my dad run the buildings that he had, and that was again just hey, can you do this for me? And I did it. So it was kind of funny.
Your entry point.
When I started, when Sotheby's was asking me, how I started and when I started. Tierney, who I work with at Sotheby's as well, kind of reminded me of that because I was babysitting for her grandchildren and running my dad's property. And then when he needed to sell that building and he was looking at other ones, I had suggested her. So then when she helped me get into Sotheby's, she reminded me of that was my start into real estate. And I'm like, oh yeah, it was. So
that's awesome.
I guess I've been in it a lot longer than I thought. It's been more like 10 years, even though I've only been a licensed agent for 5 years.
And we had like a little few years there during COVID that it was, for us, it was hard to get into. I was starting also Sotheby's, but for agents that were already like doing it for a long time, it was a great time for them. They had the best years ever.
Oh my gosh.
But for agents getting into it, like as a solo agent, was definitely a year of challenge because there was not a lot of people like really out there. The office was completely empty. You couldn't network or connect a lot with people. But I wanted to leave the real estate on the side for a moment. And I wanted to talk about health struggles. And I think it's safe to say that you had a breaking point in your life, one that completely changed the trajectory of everything that followed. What was like going through the accident at 19 years old and realizing long-term impact.
For the car accident.
Yeah, from the car accident.
Well,
yeah.
I was going to tie in, of course,
Yeah.
real estate to that because the resilience that I learned in my health struggles definitely helps in the real estate market. So there's that. So I was driving to a Bills game, as you do when you're a Bills fan, in Buffalo. And my friend and I were stopped on the highway, and a car was going over 75 miles an hour and plowed into us without hitting the brakes.
Were you you weren't driving?
Sorry, I was a passenger.
You were the passenger.
We were on our way to a Bills game.
yeah.
So I
You
wasn't
were
driving.
Stopped on the highway?
We were stopped.
Like
we
in
were in traffic.
Okay.
But luckily, thank God, the traffic started to move, so we didn't hit anybody else. The traffic started to move, so we spun out around a couple times and hit a guardrail.
Oh my gosh, that's so scary.
It was really scary. So we were actually facing the traffic at that point, going the other way because we had turned around. And so that was the
car
the start
came
of it.
behind you and
The
hit
car
you
came
from the
behind
back.
us, yes,
Okay.
without even hitting the brakes, which was my friend who was driving, her dad. We were going to her house first because they live right, and we were going to walk to the Bills game. And he was actually on a run and heard the car accident. He was an old state trooper. And he was like, wow, that was a bad accident. I hope everyone's okay. And then sure enough, we called him and we're, hey, that was us.
Gosh.
He must have freaked out.
Oh my gosh, he ran there. He beat the ambulance. He ran to the site of his daughter. He's a good dad.
Yeah.
But it was really scary. And at the time, right after that accident, we didn't know the extent of my injuries. And so they thought it was soft tissue damage and different things. So
What do you feel right away after the accident? Did you feel pain? What was it?
I did, but it kind of slowly crept in over a few days, which I guess is how it can happen, right? So I started having severe neck and back pain. Maybe I had gotten back on a flight to get back to Florida, and thank goodness I was hurting, but I wasn't in extreme pain yet. The next day, I went to the emergency room right when I got back to Florida. So they did X-rays, but you can't see the injuries that I had on X-rays. So they suggested I go see a chiropractor and start working with them. So I did that at first, and they just diagnosed me with like soft tissue damage and. I don't even really know what else, but after 3 weeks of working with him a couple days a week, I all of a sudden one morning couldn't walk.
Oh my God.
You couldn't walk.
I couldn't walk. I was like,
waking up in the morning.
I woke up in the morning and I was in so much pain. Sorry to take that back. I physically could walk, but I was in so much pain. I could not walk.
So
at the
it
same
wasn't
time.
just
so it wasn't
your
paralyzing.
Neck. It wasn't your neck. Either.
Exactly.
Okay.
All of a sudden I was like, oh, okay. This is interesting. And so then I called him and he sent me to get an MRI right away. And I remember I was like crying in the MRI, but I had to cry silently because you're not allowed to move, right?
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there because I was in excruciating pain, and I'm 19 years old. I'd never felt anything like this before. And I'm laying in there and they're like, you have to sit still. And I'm just like sobbing. My shirt was wet because they had me do a sitting one. Have you ever gotten a sitting MRI?
No, I haven't.
Yeah,
I
didn't know that existed.
Yeah.
Since then, the MRIs I've gotten, I've never had to sit before. So
you lay down
I couldn't
normally.
normally you lay down, and it's not the best thing, but it's pretty calming as far as treatments or testing goes. You can put on music. No, they had me sitting, which I had to lay down in the car. My friend had to carry me down the stairs, put me in her car, lay me there to get me there, and then they tell me, oh yeah, you have to sit for this for 45 minutes. So I'm sitting there with tears just streaming down my face, and then they like, you can't move. I'm like, I am trying. I'm silently sobbing. I don't know what else I
Holding
can do.
the pain here in silence. And 45 minutes is like an
They do
eternal.
my neck and my back. I don't
It's
know. I
eternity
think I blacked
in
out a
those
little
moments,
bit. I don't remember. It was so painful.
I know.
Oh my God. So that was unfortunately just the start of a very long, like 10-year journey of pain. And now I'm 30. So now it's been like 11 years, but I've learned a lot over that time. So,
Oh my God.
So what?
then I
walk
went
us through that
went
journey.
back to the chiropractor
Yeah.
and he looked at my scans and he yelled at me. He's like, there's no way I could have missed this. You must have done something. And I had my mom on speakerphone and she goes, nope. And she was like, you're not going to talk to my daughter anymore. You're not going to treat her. Summer, you need to walk out. And I was like, oh. Alrighty then. I mean, he was yelling at me and I'm crying. I'm like, I didn't do anything else. Like, I just woke up and it hurt really and I couldn't move. I don't know what to tell you.
What kind of injury do you have?
So they figured out that I have herniated discs in my lower back and my neck, which is, I mean, people have herniated discs, but I had been so inflamed because I not been doing a protocol for that injury, right? So I had been going about somewhat, I mean, I couldn't do the things I normally could. I couldn't work out or anything like that, but I was in college, so I was walking to class and sitting in classes and things like that. So it wasn't anything crazy, but just too much with an injury like that. So I had overdone it and really inflamed the area. And now, kind of fast forwarding, it took me a long time to learn this, but now I have disc degeneration and spinal stenosis and like thin, and if you're a doctor, please feel free to correct me, but I'm probably not. This is what my I know, like in the comments. But I'm probably not explaining it perfectly. This is my understanding of it, that I have like thin or narrowing nerve canals around these injuries. So that's also what caused so much pain. So I had nerve pain going down my legs into my feet. Wow. I had pins and needles. It felt like I was like standing on little rocks. I had nerve pain in my feet and then down my arms and into my hands. And I'd be nauseous from the pain, and I would have headaches from the pain. And that was all kind of during that process. And
how long after the accident was it you were experiencing this amount of pain?
I mean, pretty much it's hard to like fully remember because it was 10 years ago,
Days
but I think it kind of started compounding. It just was increasing over time, especially as I wasn't doing a protocol for the correct injury because I didn't know. So it just kind of was getting worse and worse. So once we found that out, my parents pulled me home to Buffalo and they had me working, and I was working with doctors like 5 days a week, twice a day, getting all these different therapies and things done. And then I basically would sometimes cry on the way to or from the therapies because it was so painful. And then I would sleep pretty much after. So I would be sleeping, or I would be at the doctor or doing massage therapy or PT or chiropractor or whatever. So
you're just like doctor hopping.
Yeah, doctor hopping. And that was, they did great work. I was doing a lot better. And it was honestly awesome because my little brothers were home, so they would bring me peppermint tea and they'd watch TV with me when I wasn't sleeping or at the doctor. And so it kept me happy. It was a really depressing and isolating time, but I never really got depressed, and I think that's huge because of my parents were so supportive. And then I got to go home to my little brothers, and they were so fun, and they kept things amazing. And then my friends would come visit. A few of them lived in Buffalo still. But it was definitely tough because you're 19 and all your friends are going out and doing things and you're stuck at home.
Talking about a life-changing event in your life, how life can change so quickly.
And I mean, before that, I was in college, I had a job, I babysat, I was very active, and I just was an active person, and I loved being around people. So to go from that to being very isolated and in pain was really, really challenging.
I want to go back to like your mom advocated for you in the point where like you were lost in pain, trying to seek help.
Yep.
And she was there to say, this is not the spot for you right now. We're going to figure it out together. So I would like to say something about like having an advocate in your corner while you're going through the hellhole of pain that you're having is so important. And then I've known that you also like needed that support as well. And just having that, and you're sort of that for other people at this point in your life. But we'll get into that in a minute. But it's like the important note of advocating for others and having that experience of someone doing that for you must have been so like confusing but empowering at the same time.
Well, especially because I was at an age where you're learning to try to do that, but you're not quite there yet because your whole life, up till you're 18, you're told what to do and when to do it and, things like that. So at an age where you're a young woman trying to learn your voice and like what is acceptable behavior was really great that had that.
I mean, and you were so young. I mean, we really, I feel like until we get into our 30s is when we start really knowing ourselves and how to advocate for ourselves and just learning about our body and our mind and a lot of the different things. But being so young, going through all of these must have been really, really hard. So
it was.
How was transitioning? How was the progress of that? How you transitioned? What was the next step after you were doing the therapy?
So I did start to get better with all of that, which was great. So I did return to Florida for my spring semester. But what we didn't know is like what was about to be in store for me. So I was getting better. And I think, honestly, it was a blessing. I would have these like up and downs, which now we refer to as flare-ups. But it was kind of helpful because I would see that I was getting better. And so there was a lot of hope during this time. And I was naive because I was young and I'd never really had an injury. So I was like, we're going to get better. It's going to be fine, which was helpful because it was a good mindset.
Mindset.
Versus it was a naive mindset, but it was a good one because I just didn't know any different, right? Like you get a scrape when you're little, it healed. I was still little. Like I didn't know. I was like, it's going to heal. We're going to be fine.
Yeah, the idea something chronic.
Right.
Like a chronic condition that you don't, like, because you're young and you know, it will go away. It will be fine.
Plus, every doctor was like, "You're young, you're healthy, you'll be fine."
Yeah.
Dismissing majority of my symptoms, but it's fine.
Wait, so let's back up to that, because not only were you just naive and like, oh, I'm young, also your doctors were a little naive in that you were young.
And don't get me wrong, I had some good ones. I had some that really stuck by me. I had an awesome rheumatologist as my friend's dad who was like, I believe you, and tried to help with my pain management, which was great. And I had a great chiropractor here I had a great chiropractor in Buffalo, but like everyone in between would,
It was a journey. Not everyone you saw was the right fit for what you had or give you the right advice or opinion on what they thought.
Right.
That's part of the healing journey. And I feel like you went through, like all of us, I think we've gone through some kind of dark night of the soul that Amy loves when I say that.
I love it.
Es como,
it's so sexy.
Es como la noche oscura del alma in Spanish.
That does sound way better than saying it like that.
Really
I'll practice that at home.
But really what it means is if that event in your life that changed everything for you.
Yeah.
And there is always a reason, I believe, why those events happen in our life. And I think health issues in the end, they are blessings that they teach you so much. And we'll touch upon what
I
was
like
this
to
meant
say
for
that
you,
it's like anyone that I've been counseling lately in different things, or my sister-in-law got breast cancer, and I was like, this is going to be the hardest thing that you ever do for at least a little while in your health, and there's a huge rainbow coming, and we don't know what that looks like yet, but it's going to be amazing. And sure enough, I get chills because it really has. She's healthy.
I have chills.
And not from that statement, just knowing that she is okay now and she's doing amazing. And it has been like such a beautiful blessing in her life. And for the longest time when I was going through this, because it took me 3 years really to get answers, and we'll get into that. But I would just pray and journal, and I'm like, God, what is this all for? And why me? And what are you doing? And I would sit in church and I would hear all these miracles, right? You hear these amazing miracles and you're like, well, why am I not a miracle? Why am I just not better? And that was always really frustrating, is I would get kind of frustrated with going to church and God, because I was like, why am I not a miracle? Am I not good enough to be a miracle?
I know.
And so, then my prayers kind of changed to, okay, well, please use this for something good, because, what are we doing here?
And I think that's part of our growth, that we all go through that victim mentality until we start learning and just... I'm very spiritual, so I think that's part of our awakening of our growth as human beings, but also as spiritual beings, of going through that, not looking at ourselves as the victims anymore. This is happening for a reason, but that doesn't come in 1 hour.
No,
that comes with a lot of years of growth and understanding and working really hard in yourself.
And when you can look back, you can see that like you needed to have that experience to relate to other people, to support them out of that position.
Totally.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's why when I got to say that to my sister-in-law and walk her through and be there for her during her cancer journey, which was an amazing opportunity to be able to be there for a sister.
Yeah.
Women.
But yeah, I know.
Support each other.
Changed my life. But like knowing and believing that wholeheartedly was amazing. And then now she has my son right now, and she's doing awesome. And so being able to tell her that and then know that it was true was really cool, because it made everything that I went through feel like it was worth it in a way. Because just bringing hope and knowing like in my gut that she was going to be okay, and that she'd be better off after. It sounds terrible, and she'll admit that too. She's like, I am better off for it. So that's kind of how I feel now, but it was definitely hard in the moments when you don't have any answers, and you're going through it. You're like, what is going on?
Very isolating, very lost.
But I've seen that a lot though. Like I've seen that in the church, like, and it's almost like an elementary like understanding of the scriptures, where like, oh, everything should just be a miracle. Everything should just be fixed.
And there can be miracles, and that's a beautiful thing. But I think that they miss so many people who, don't get a perfect miracle, but they do in a different way. Like now I do think my health was a miracle, but it wasn't what I thought it was.
And this is something else to say, that if you believe in miracles, they will happen to you. But if you don't believe in miracles, they won't happen to you.
Yeah.
Whatever you believe in, and it's not only believing blindly in something, but it's also how you see life and how you see things, your perspective on things. So how like you had the accident, you were going through all these progress, and you're doing the therapy back and forth, and then something else was happening underlying.
Well, just to give an idea of like what was going on additionally to the back problems, is I had nerve pain. I had joint pain that like would seize up and make me feel like I could barely move. I would joke like I was like the Tin Man. And I mean, at like 19, 20, 21 years old, you should be able to move. I would literally like not be able to get out of bed some days because my joint pain and my nerve pain and my back pain were so bad. So like I wouldn't sleep. I would get, you know, if you ever accidentally electrocuted yourself a little bit, I don't know.
I don't think I've done that yet.
Well, like you've never like the
when you
battery,
get like
the one battery.
Sometimes it happens. Yeah. But I would get that like full body, and I would be, and so during like 2014 to 27, I know, and I was like, but like I've actually shocked myself from turning on a light one time, and I'm how did that happen? My dad, I'm like, Dad, what do I do?
Oh, when you shock your butt, somebody.
Like get shot. Well, it's like, but yeah, so I would have like that kind of pain. I started getting like chronic UTIs for no reason. And also some of the things, which just as a quick segue, if you live in Florida or pretty much anywhere in this day and age, it could be your water. Once I got a water filter and for our whole house, and figured out that it was that, and I put vitamin C tablets in my baths because I was taking baths every day because of the back pain and all the pain. That was my thing. Also, Lush bath bombs, not good. No, not good. And that's where I figured out that. So once I figured out that it was the water and the chlorine that they put in our tap water. I guess I have a chlorine allergy, and that was it was like mimicking a UTI, but it wasn't actually a UTI. So it was irritating the nerves in that area because you're in
everything's connected.
And also it could be some Lyme related things, but I've saved a couple people they're like, I get these chronic UTIs. I'm like, do your check your water and put a filter on and throw some vitamin C tablets in your bath and see if it helps. And sure enough, most of the time that's it. So if you have that problem,
there you go. Make a note of
it. One of the cheaper fixes of things for sure.
But so you were going to these doctors, a few were believed what was going on, but what was your main overall experience?
Well, like I think I went to maybe 20 to 30 specialists from like 2014 to 2017. Some of them would get really excited and they're like, you're weird. You've got,
a science project.
Like, all right, a 20-year-old can't get out of bed because she's in so much pain. And I wanted to do, I also had like ovarian cyst ruptures.
Oh my gosh.
I've had, and
you said your brain.
My brain, my parents thought I was being a little bit of like a punky teenager, like those end teenager years. I literally couldn't remember anything at 20 years old. I had dementia, like memory problems. Wow. I would have a whole conversation like this with you guys, walk away, not remember one thing that was said. Like it was scary. And I also couldn't remember that I couldn't remember enough to explain that to anybody. So it's a vicious cycle. It was just like slowly getting worse, which now, I'll get into how we figured out what that was, but it was terrifying. So I had all these things going on. So I would see a doctor and sometimes they would dismiss me immediately. You have anxiety or you just want pain meds. And that was so hurtful because I'm like, I'm in so much pain. I just want to be a normal 20-year-old. I don't really want to be on pain meds either, but I can't move. So like, what do you, and I'm crying in bed every day. What am I supposed to do here? And they'd say, you have anxiety and that's making your back pain worse. And I'm like, you're giving me anxiety actually, because you're not listening to anything I'm saying.
So frustrating. It is.
I went to one doctor and for the first 10 minutes, and I was doing everything. I was doing the chiropractor. I was trying to move when I could, which was I still was doing part-time school at college, and I was working as much. I probably shouldn't have been doing all of that, and I'll get into being able to manage your symptoms because I didn't know better. I was just trying to keep going.
Understand what was going on.
And everyone kept saying, you're young, just keep doing life and you'll get better, right? So I'm trying to do that, and I'm also trying to figure out, because I'm like, in my gut, this isn't just my back, like something else is going on here.
Yeah.
So I got a lot of dismissals from doctors and they'd get excited. You're weird. Like, let's figure this out. And then they couldn't figure it out, so they would just give up on me.
Yeah.
And
that's
frustrating.
Would be it.
Yeah.
And it's also like emotionally, just like, I am a puzzle that no one can solve. Like, what the fuck is my life going to be like?
Yeah.
Like, what is going to happen to me when I get older and I want a family and I want all these things? And I'm young right now, so let's fix it now. And you're getting no solutions.
Yeah. And for you, this is going to be my life forever. Like, And what were your coping systems, like, as far as like waking up with that pain and that your mindset? You said you did journaling.
I did. I prayed and journaled and read the Bible a lot, but honestly, I was angry at God a lot of the time because I was just like, again, where is my miracle? Why is this happening to me? I still did it because I did find it peaceful, even just to write out that I was angry, right? Like, oh, this is so frustrating. And what do I do for you? But I also had beautiful things in between. Like, I have amazing parents. I have amazing brothers. I have amazing friends that all manipulated their lives to help make mine better in some ways. And that's such a beautiful thing. And I know not everyone has that. And if you don't have that and you are going through hard things, find it because it's there.
He's there.
And I did lose friends along the way too, because they didn't get it, and that's fine. And that's understandable. Or, you know, sometimes they would revisit when they did have a health issue and they're like, oh my gosh, I get
you now.
So that's been really cool too. But I'm very lucky that I had a great family and then future husband. But it was hard.
But something happened. So you one day you went to a place and someone told you about this doctor.
Yes, shout out to Cia Rico. There's a couple of sisters. Their family has owned this beautiful boutique in Palm Beach, and now they have expanded for years, but they have several other locations, and they've known me for a very long time. And I walked in there to get a planner or something, and they look at me and they go, Sommer, are you okay? You don't look very good. And I was just like, you know what? I'm not okay. And then I just like,
can I tell you?
Down. Yeah. So I just totally, you know, was like, all this is going on. And I would have these ups and downs and just a lot of hospital visits, a lot of ER visits with doctors who didn't take me seriously, who mistreated me. I mean, again, I had
how many years at this point?
So this was 2014 to like 2017. So
3 years.
January of 2017, I see the Cia Ricos. They're like, you need to make an appointment with Elizabeth Tringali.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the practice was called at the time, but now it's Tringali Vibrant Health.
Yeah.
And so I made an appointment with her, and she was the first person that I ever felt like listened, understood, and wanted to solve this problem with me and was genuine about it. And in the first meeting with me, she goes, I think you might have Lyme disease. And I'm like, no, I got tested for that. I don't have Lyme disease. And she's like, I don't know, we'll test you again. And sure enough, now I know that the testing varies state to state. So if you do think you have chronic Lyme disease or any sort of co-infection or tick-borne illness or anything, Florida and California are the best states to get tested in. So I had gotten tested for Lyme disease up in Buffalo when I was home, and it was negative. And I won't get into that, but if anyone has questions, they can ask me later.
But you had mentioned like there's something about they test more here.
They test more strains. So they only test for a few there, and it's you have to have these like strict components. And maybe it's changed now. I'm not sure that it has, but I know in Florida they do a much broader test, so you get a better idea of everything.
What is Lyme disease and how do you get that?
So everyone thinks, they're like, oh, I haven't been bitten by a tick. Well, mosquitoes carry it too, and other bugs.
I didn't know that. I thought it was only the ticks.
I got bit by a mosquito this morning. Oh, no. Even though it's cold.
I mean, we get bit by mosquitoes all the time. I grew up in Cuba. I mean, I couldn't escape that.
Yeah, no, you
literally couldn't escape
that. That was my life.
You were not inside an air-conditioned box. Like
here in Florida. No. So it'll bite something that you could bite a deer that has Lyme disease or another person, and then it comes and bites you. It's more, I wouldn't say rare, because I think it happens a lot more than we realize. But if you have an immune system that's being, stressed in any way or compromised, then it's a lot more likely to get you. Yeah. So I don't know exactly when I contracted it. I just know that I did at some point. I used to be a magnet for bug bites.
And there's an explanation. The other day I had actually my follow-up appointment with them, and she asked me, there was something on my butt. She asked me, do you get bit by mosquitoes a lot? I'm like, no, but there's something in your blood that you attract more or not.
And I think that, and I could be wrong, but I feel as though when I have active Lyme versus I go into remission, I get bit more. So I don't know if I'm attracting them more, but when I'm treating Lyme and getting better, I don't get bit as much. So I don't know, but I'm not sure if there's any scientific backing to that.
I think too, like what I was saying, like I just happened to take out the trash this morning, and as I was walking out, I happened to look down and see a mosquito on my arm. So I think a lot of times in Florida,
I don't think there's a single person that hasn't been bit by
you just get bit and you don't realize you've been bit.
Yeah.
Now, they have some amazing things now though, like stickers you can stick on.
Oh yeah, I do that for my
those.
son.
Yeah. And sometimes, then I have a really good bug spray I use from Baby Organics. People have I like that one because it comes in little wipes, so you can put it in your purse. I probably have one in my purse right now. And I'll pull it out, and you can get 3 people that you're close with in one wipe. We've had to we're there's 5 of us.
What do you do with a wipe?
So you just wipe it, and it's essential oil. oils.
Yeah.
And I think there's probably citronella in there. I'm sure there is, but I don't really know. It smells great too. You ever smell
okay.
beet
I
and
have
all
to look
that?
into
It
that.
smells terrible. It
Yeah.
doesn't work. It's bad for your skin.
Yeah.
This stuff, you are moisturized with essential oils. You smell great, and your bug. I mean, when I put that on religiously, I definitely don't get. I maybe one bug bite. Like it's very minimal.
So you figure out, okay, I went to this lady, she's testing me for all these things that have already been tested for, and then it comes back positive. And
comes back positive. Wow. But what I love about Tringali Vibrant Health and functional medicine doctors are that they test for things. They test everything. I mean, I think my top score, I joke, for Elizabeth is like 36 vials of blood, and Quest hates me coming. They hate to see me coming.
Same. When
they
she sees
complain
my
every time.
Tringali, oh my gosh. And if you go in the morning, they're starting their shift.
I now book 2 to 3
I
appointments.
didn't have breakfast for these.
So that they don't get mad at me. Because I'm like, I booked 3 appointments. So,
Oh, really?
Yes,
You do
because
that?
sometimes they try to be like, well, you're going to have to come back. And you know what it's like to go to Quest. It's a nightmare.
Yeah.
Okay.
You want to talk about, I don't know, like, so what's more like intense of a life experience? Going to the DMV, which Amy recently had to do, or going to Quest?
I'd rather go to Quest.
I've actually done both recently. Yeah. Not fun.
I don't know. Have you ever been at Quest when there's some like volatile people? It is crazy. During COVID, when I would go, people were crazy. It was actually kind of entertaining.
I mean, down here, you get a lot more of like, there's a larger, older population. And so they don't have patience. Let's just put it that way. It's kind of entertaining. I mean, I sit down and like watch it go down.
Oh my gosh.
It's very interesting.
I love talking to the phlebotomists. They're always like so cool.
Really?
Like I'm like,
Not
I'm
always.
like, hey, how's your day
Not
going?
always. I always forget to pee, drink water before I had to go, and then I pee everything I have to pee before then. I have to wait half an hour to create more pee to go to the bathroom. But
We got to work on that.
That's so funny.
Yeah,
Okay, so
so-
you walk into Tringali. What was your first experience in that? Like, okay, we're going to test you for all these things, and then what happened?
Well, the biggest thing was I was explaining. I'm like, this is what doctors have said to me. I've left offices like crying because they're so mean. And she goes, we're not going to do that. I'm going to fix this. I'm like, well, I've heard that before. Not in like a rude way, but just. And she's like, no, I'm going to fix this. I'm not going to give up on you. And it was the first time I really like felt seen. And then ever since then, I pretty much only go to female doctors in every area. Not because I don't think there are good male doctors. There are. Walter, my little brother, is studying to be a doctor. You'll be great. I'll come to you, I promise. But it just would seem like a better fit for me. So that's the other thing is if you are going to these doctors and you're getting a different vibe, sometimes men just don't get it, and that's okay. And like, it's just how it is. So if you're having trouble with male doctors, I would suggest
just
finding
change it
female.
up. Yeah.
But that was, so she started, her first thing, and I don't want to give too much away about her process and talk too much about that, but you can go on their website. They've got so much information. She has a podcast here, actually.
With Bob Populi too.
And then in a crazy turn of events, I actually ended up working there for like 2 years. So I got so much knowledge working there, and it was the best 2 years ever. And the only reason I stopped working there is because I got pregnant with my son. So
before we get there, I do want to talk about what kind of treatments do you go through with her? She recommended for Lyme disease.
So her first thing is your diet. What are you eating?
Yeah.
Because if you can't absorb your vitamins or you can't absorb your food, then where are we really starting? So she kind of gets an idea of like, what are you eating? And here's how we can clean it up. And she puts you on, I wouldn't like, it's not a diet, honestly, it's a life change.
Yeah, just
because
making changes on.
It's hey, this is what you've been eating. This isn't working. You're not feeling well, and so this is what you're going to try. Like it's a little bit of an elimination diet, but it's also some other things too, and it varies on what you have going on and what your concerns are. So she does that, and then some supplements. And trying to think, my biggest problem at the beginning was that I wasn't absorbing nutrients. So she did some different IVs to help get nutrients. And now IVs since then have come a long way. Even Lyme disease versus chronic Lyme disease, at the time 8 years ago when I did get diagnosed in 2017, a lot of doctors didn't recognize Lyme disease or chronic. Minimum.
What's the difference? So how do you switch to chronic?
If you get Lyme disease, you get a tick bite or a mosquito bite, and you get a bullseye rash or a rash, and they figure it out right away. And you go on a course of antibiotics, and they send you on your way, and you're fine. So if you get it quickly, like right away, you tend to not have as many problems. However, you could go in and out of remission. So it is something to be aware of as you're entering days. If you start having weird health things, and you have been bit previously, even though it was handled, it could be, kind of coming back out. But mine was considered chronic because I had it for years without it getting diagnosed and treated. So that was where, and then I have gone in and out of remission since, between either stress induced or I got a bit and I saw a bullseye right away. So I've gone in and out, and funny enough, I just learned that if you have a chronic illness and you've had a baby, or you're pregnant and then you have a baby, you are most likely to have a flare up or go out of remission when you're 6 months postpartum, which is exactly what happened to me. But I didn't know that was, and we can get into that, but that can happen. So if you have any sort of autoimmune disease or chronic illness, 6 months postpartum, you are at your most vulnerable for it reoccurring.
So I think it's important to just call out most of the time, please correct me if I'm incorrect. Okay. So most of the time Lyme disease comes from a tick bite. Mm-hmm. And a tick bite, you said the bullseye. Can you describe what the bullseye looks like?
I actually have a photo of it. Maybe
we'll put it later.
But it literally looks like, and I mean, this is just like my opinions and my understanding of Lyme disease over the 10 years I've had it. I do not have any doctorates or anything like that. But it literally looks like a bullseye rash. You've got the like bug bite, and then it just is it's a circle, like a perfect circle. Yeah. It could be. Now, sometimes when you get bit, it turns red and inflamed, right? There's that. So that's not what you want to be concerned about. You want it when it's like looking like a ring.
And also if you get bit by a tick, there's a certain way to remove them. You should have so if you're an active outdoors person, or if you're traveling,
GPT.
Yeah, but or if you're traveling to like a national park or something, just be aware. I think the last time I went to that new national park in West Virginia, I was so paranoid the whole time. I was wearing long pants, everything, and I kept looking, and you should do a check over your whole body after you've been outside, because the tick can still be on your skin.
Be as small as like a pinhead. They're small. But also not to be afraid, because I did go through a period where I was really afraid to get
paranoid.
Yeah. And then like, I don't even know when the first time was. So how am I going to prevent something? And that did help my mental health a little bit, because I wasn't being crazy about it, but I was definitely more like being really, really careful. But you should still be careful. Wear your pants, put on bug spray, do all the things you can, but also, I mean,
So let's get into the treatments, because I'm so curious.
Yeah.
I'm so curious.
So in addition to, you said nutrition, and then you were doing IV work.
So I did IVs, and then also
which is just basically that she was putting a lot of the fish. You were the fishing in many areas, so she was just helping with the IVs.
What I love that she does is she figures out, okay, you're deficient in this area, and she'll try a few things, and sometimes it doesn't work. I mean, not everyone's body absorbs things the same way, so sometimes we would have to go to like medication. So I was so nauseous all the time, and that's a Lyme disease thing. And back to the brain thing, because I actually can remember now, that was why my brain wasn't working. So I had severe brain fog and severe memory issues, and it was because I had neurological Lyme, which means it affected my brain. It broke the blood-brain barrier, which I would not have remembered to tell you a couple of years ago. But we've healed. We've gotten better.
Yeah, we've gotten better.
So a lot of it was just seeing, the neurological Lyme is where the majority of my nerve pain, we think, kind of comes from, because it does come from my back a little bit, but it doesn't make sense with the normal pattern. So the doctors that were looking at me with my back problems, my neck problems, they're like, the nerve pain that you're talking about doesn't follow the patterns of the injuries that you have. So between the brain and the nerve pain. So we don't know if was nauseous from the pain or nauseous from the not really sure, but anyways, I would be nauseous a lot. It could also be because my stomach was always hurting, but so she figured out, we tried like ginger, we tried all the things, and then we had to go to Zofran. So she does try different
natural, holistic ways.
Yeah, because it could be something so easy where a lot of doctors will just give you a prescription, but you could solve it. Like your gut could heal, it can get better, it can absorb the right things. Yeah. So I love that she does that approach. She's not against it. And she's great. So we did all that. And then as more technology, not technology, but more information came out about Lyme disease, and now chronic Lyme disease is more of an accepted thing amongst doctors, which is incredible, and more understood, and there's more things that go along with it. They've added peptides, and I've done ozone therapy. They did ozone saunas where I would sit in this machine. Your head was out because you can't breathe in the ozone. And so I would sit there, and it was like a sauna just for your body, which is kind of weird because your head would be normal temperature, but then your body would be like 100 degrees.
And that's mainly to clean and remove the toxins from your body and clean your blood.
So that was one of my problems.
maybe?
I never really was a sweater, which I thought was great. I'm like, oh, cool. I don't really smell. But in reality, if you're not sweating, you're not detoxing.
Right.
Which I found out when Elizabeth's like, that's not a good thing, Sommer. She's so sweet. And so that was one of the things is we needed to get my body to detox all these things. We needed to get this stuff out. So it does that. It opens the pores, and then the ozone enters the first couple layers of your epidermis, which is your skin, and your joints. So it helps with joint pain. It helps with like nerve problems, and it kind of will kill off anything that's in those couple layers of skin.
Is it hot or cold?
It's hot.
Okay.
It's
I'm
hot.
like, what are we
hot.
Sorry, it is it's an ozone sauna,
yeah.
so it's hot, and you can control the temperature. And it's called a Hokot sauna. So
now that makes sense. I had Tommy and we got this. I don't even know what we got. Maybe it was COVID. Maybe it was the flu. It was really bad. We both were sick, and then we went to Tringali, and they did the ozone for the how you call these. The
cheekbones?
No.
So
when you
it's
have
like
congested here.
nasal cavities. It's called
Sinus.
We call it nose. They called it nose-zone, I think.
Right. So they do that, and it's so hot inside. And I thought you see the smoke, and you feel these cold,
and you can't breathe it in, so you have to hold your breath, and they have to do that.
But it broke everything.
Oh yeah.
The next day,
I've done that for sinus infections and mold. If you have mold
too,
issues, or you've been around mold and you're having some inflammation, oh my gosh.
So hold on.
Sorry.
They shove ozone smoke up
through
your nose.
Yep.
And then you have to hold your breath in a sense.
For like seconds.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Like a pool.
And then what happens? You just drip all the stuff back out?
Yeah. It breaks, and all the infection, everything just breaks it down, and she's just pouring like fluids out of your nose. And it goes
over
away.
time. It's not like a
Some
flood.
people have
Okay.
have like that effect right after. I didn't. It took me like 2 days, and after 2 days, I was starting like,
Never
what?
heard of this.
Oh
It's
my
so
gosh.
interesting. Okay, tell me more.
And it's not expensive. That one's
It's
amazing.
it's like literally super like less like $30 or 50.
Totally
like,
worth it.
I don't know.
I
It's
kind of
like
want to
so
go there
affordable.
now and get
I'm
it.
like, okay, this is what I have to do.
Yeah, because
So is that almost like doing like a nasal spray, like where you like?
They take a syringe and they put
But it's
ozone
gas.
down. It's gas. Yeah,
It's like a gas.
It's not nothing.
It's so
you don't feel nothing, just the sensation.
Interesting. I'm thinking like, oh, it's like a best version of a neti pot.
It does sound like
I prefer that over a neti pot 100%.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, that's
and I think it's better for you.
Yeah.
I mean,
I've never heard of this.
my
Okay,
opinion,
tell me
it's-
more weird things. I want to know
So
more.
you
Oh my
also
gosh.
I've
had
done
your
all
blood
the-
cleaned,
So
and that was with ozone too, right?
And when I worked there for 2 years, I'm like, let me be the guinea pig. I want to try all of the things. So if there was a new thing up and coming, it was the first to put my hand up, because I think also because I was in my earlier 20s. So now I'm a little bit more like,
No fear.
I don't want to
Let's do
get
it.
poked. Yeah. But so a couple years in, they brought in ozone for your blood.
Yeah.
And you have to get some testing before you can get it done to make sure, that you'll respond well. But basically it cleans your blood, and it depends on which level you want to do. I've done all of them where the basic one is just the ozone. They put it in your blood. They oxygenate it. I think that's how you say that.
Is that the one
They
that
put in-
lasts a couple hours?
No, this one's quick. This
is
one's like
quick.
45
Oh, okay.
minutes. You can do a few passes is what they call. So they drain your blood out, they put the ozone in, they shake the bag, they put it back in. And then you can get additional, like a Myers cocktail. You can get things done too.
At the same time.
Hold on, time out.
Oh.
So hold on. I need to understand this. Okay, so they're drawing your blood and putting it in a vial and or bag.
It's a bag.
Okay, so they put it in a bag.
Yeah.
They infuse it with
Ozone.
whatever
Yes.
that is, and then you getting an IV back into your
The blood
and it
goes
goes
back
in.
into-
It's the same thing, which I think I misspoke. I can't remember correctly if you can get a Myers after, because I think you have to not get anything when you do ozone, because it won't.
Oh, got
it's
it.
clean.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Okay, so one
Not
of the
important.
options is they infuse your blood with something and then they put it back in you. So
Yeah.
it's not
Ozone,
like,
yeah,
So
cleaning.
it's not like you're going to like a dialysis center where they're
Which
like,
they do too.
No, which I did. That was my 30th birthday present from my husband, which we'll get into.
And that's the one that takes like a couple hours, no?
I
Or an
thought
hour?
so, but it takes like an hour.
An
It did
hour.
not take
Oh,
long.
okay.
But
Yeah.
so that's like the first baby steps into ozone, and anyone can do that. You just have to get that test. But it's great, like if you have been sick a lot, or you just want to see how you feel a little bit.
And if you've been
Great.
exposed to mold,
Mold.
that helps with the mold.
I mean, pretty much
Yeah.
anything. So
into your blood.
into your blood.
Okay.
It
The
sounds
ozone.
weird, but it
The
feels
ozone.
good.
Really weird.
The first time I ever did it, and this can tell you how sick I was, I slept for like 36 hours of like a 2.5 day period. I got it done the first time when I was really in the throes of Lyme disease, and slept out of 48 hours. I slept 36 of them. I literally woke up to use the bathroom, eat, and I fell back asleep. Wow. And then I felt a lot better after, but that was the first time I had done it. So I've done it since, and then now they've stepped it up where you can get a UV light also. So they do the passes of that through the UV light. So it helps just kill anything going on.
More things.
That helps a lot. And then on top of that, now they have the EBO2, which is what I did for my 30th birthday.
Which that's the one that is the dialysis.
That's the one where it's, do your full, I don't know if I forget what they said, and I should know this, but if they do the full blood or whatever,
I don't know. No, it's not like my
that one you're strapped up on both.
My limited knowledge of UVC is if you have it exposed to like an open cavity or something, like that is actually, I don't know. There's certain things it kills that you don't want it to kill, so that you have to make sure you use that appropriately.
Yeah. Well, all this is under doctor's supervision.
Yeah. Doctor apparently knows what they're doing.
But it also is all under like a thing. It's hidden, and you take this blue. It's not blue juice. I called it blue juice. I don't remember what it's called right now, but you drink that before to help activate it. So it's that thing that the methylene blue. Everyone's like super into that right now. So you drink a little bit of that first before you do it. Also, if you have a bunch of stuff, if you have a bunch of spirochetes, which are the Lyme bacteria that is in your body, you want to kill those. Like it's kind of with an antibiotic, you wipe out all the probiotics, the good and the bad in your gut. But you know what the ends justify the means in that situation because you're sick. So it's kind of a similar situation where you're like, let's nuke this and see how we do.
So what type of symptoms would I experience before going through said blood bags or dialysis version?
That's hard to say because it really depends on how healthy you are. It depends on what you have going. I can't really answer that.
Okay, that makes sense.
Unless I know specifics.
What are you experiencing before you go?
I usually get really tired after because it's doing what my body should be doing but can't. Okay. So I get really tired for a few days and lethargic, and I kind of have to like sleep it off. But some people are like, oh my gosh, this gives me so much energy. I feel so much better immediately. So I think it depends on what your body has going on to the degree that you're, sicknesses and all of those things.
Sorry, I really hung on this because I was like, what is happening?
It's so interesting. That's why I'm so passionate about this
Elizabeth
topic.
on your podcast.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, we have to have her here.
Yeah. She's way more knowledgeable. This is just from a patient side
from your experience.
My experiences and my opinions and what I know to be.
So from your experience, do you have any aha moments that you learned through like this whole journey of your accident, especially with Lyme disease? I feel like you've gone through an extensive amount of research and you're very knowledgeable and you've been forced to learn because you had to figure it out.
Learn on the fly,
Yeah. Was any aha moments to say, oh, this is, and I feel like probably all these treatments.
When I got the Lyme disease diagnosis, I think my whole family, because my parents and my siblings were super supportive, but they kind of also were like, 30 doctors are telling you you're crazy. Are you okay? And they saw me suffering. So I don't think they thought that. But, even I'm like, am I okay? Like, I don't know. Maybe I am. I never thought that I was making it up, but I was, you question yourself and you're like, what is going on? So luckily I had them. And then I met my husband right after I got diagnosed with Lyme disease. So my family kind of, I think, did a sigh of relief of like, okay, including myself, we were all kind of like, aha, that's what this has been this whole time. Now we have answers. Now we can move forward as a group.
Fix it. Yeah.
And so I met my husband at that time and he was so supportive. And he has been a huge part of my healing journey as well, because I had my incredible family and then he came alongside and really saw me in the throes of it as well. And picked me up multiple occasions and like continued to push me to keep going. Wow. I mean, he literally, when I was really starting my Lyme disease treatments, you get really sick before you get better. And I would be like on the floor, like trying to, I couldn't even move and he would just like pick me up. You get, it's a lot of times like flu-like symptoms, but really you get like bad flu. COVID was nothing for me. You get like COVID basically, and it's just terrible. But I had all the pain and all the different things, and he'd never had chronic illness. He'd never really seen it. And he somehow like adapted, and then he would be my brain, because your brain doesn't work for so many reasons. Like you're in pain and you're just trying to make sense of what's going on in your body. You're like, what is going on? And a lot of times nothing makes sense. And that's like the most I think the worst is when your body fails you and you expect it to not fail you. You're like, this isn't what we're supposed to be doing, or this isn't what I want to be doing. So he was huge and instrumental in that, because I finally had gotten answers. I finally knew what was going on. I had the support of friends and family. And then he was kind of that like missing piece that really helped my day to day. And just because when you're like questioning yourself and your body's questioning yourself, it's just so exhausting. It must have
been so lonely too, even though you had the support of your family. And it's like, we've gone through some of the experiences ourselves where you have company, you have support system. You're not physically alone, but you feel so lonely mentally. It's very
isolating.
It's very isolating.
And you must have felt like somewhat before you got the diagnosis, and going through the 30 doctors and saying, no, this is still going on. These symptoms that are somewhat phantom in a way. Like there's always like a disconnect before you know what it is or what's causing the problem, right? So you're trying to do everything you possibly can, throwing everything at the wall. Literally, you
to
went
see
to
what sticks.
To go to 30 doctors.
Over like 3.
And you must have felt so insecure not knowing what it was.
Oh, absolutely. I felt so insecure. I felt so let down by my own body. And like I had said, I had been an athlete. I had worked really hard. I had jobs. It wasn't me to just sit at home. And now I have found comfort in it, and now I like sitting at home. But I wanted to be out. I was early 20s. All my friends were doing things, and they'd make time for me, and they would do different things, but they were going out at night and doing fun 20-year-old things. And sometimes I would push myself to participate, and then I couldn't like move for a few days. Or I would.
You were pushing yourself
but it was really isolating. I spent a lot of time alone, specifically like in 2016, 2017. I had dated somebody during the years that I had Lyme, but I didn't really know, and he wasn't the best. But he wasn't the best.
That's a good way of
He wasn't the best.
She's saying it very politely.
But here's the thing is like, I didn't think I deserved better at the time. I was in so much pain, and he was like at the time, like my only like life raft at sort of like feeling normal. And so I allowed myself to be treated in a way that I never would in other circumstances, just because I was in so much pain and I could barely do anything. And, it was like attention that I wasn't getting otherwise, which is, I think everyone in their period of time like has allowed people to treat them in a certain way, just because I was so isolated, and this person would spend time with me when I needed comfort. And so
that's also a lot of your just 20s in general.
That too. I think everyone, for the most part, you don't want to marry the person you dated that early in your 20s.
You don't know what.
Right. So I definitely learned a lot. But so then I had spent like 9 months just alone. I didn't date anyone. I didn't talk to anybody. And then I ended up meeting my husband right after I got that news. And so I spent a lot of time during that time alone, because I had my entire like social life was built around this person, because that was the my life at the time, and also my health. I had the only, that was like, so I had to rebuild like my friendships, and I had to rebuild myself and rebuild my health and prioritize and fix things. So I learned a lot in that time alone. And I think it always scared me to be not alone without a husband or a boyfriend or anything like that. It was just like alone without friends, even, because my friends were all tied up in that. And I did. And then I made and reconnected with friends and focused on friendship and focused on my health. And then I got these answers. So it felt
aligned.
Yeah, I felt aligned. And then I met my husband, and he was just great. We figured out that Disney was a great outlet for me, because we would go and I could walk around.
Yeah.
And there was so much to look at, and I was in so much pain. So like finding something that would distract me, and like I could move there. I mean, we didn't do it crazy. We would have to like take our days slow, and they had at the time a great disability program, and now it's not great, and so we don't go anymore, which is really sad. But at the time, they had some great solutions. There were people abusing it, because people got on TikTok and were like, oh, here are the loopholes. And so it really destroyed it for like the disabled community, which I am technically. I have a couple like disabilities, and now pretty much no one can get it, and I'm on a page for that, and it's a whole thing. But at the time, it was a great outlet. It was something I could do. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't go out with my friends. I couldn't do these things. So it was something we could go, and Seth would drive there, and we would go, and we got the passes, and he was traveling for work a lot. He did medical sales. So on the weekends we would go to Disney, not every weekend, but and just walk around, and it was just a break. It was just like a break from reality, a break from my existence of being in pain all the time. And it was great. I was like, my insurance should cover this. Like, there was one point where I was having such a bad flare up, we were looking at putting in a PICC line or a port, because I was really not doing well, and I couldn't get out of this funk of problems one after another. And we went there for 1 weekend. We came back and I was fine after. And Elizabeth literally joked with me. She's like, we should make this a treatment plan because you do so much better there. And you'd think with an autoimmune disease in a place with a lot of, international germs, I would have gotten sick there. But no, it really helped me. So even finding, if you are dealing with any health things, find like your one thing or your two things.
Or just the magic of Disney.
The other thing I would do when I couldn't do anything is I would sit and do puzzles, and that brought me help because there was like a start, a finish, and a goal, right? Like and so I found things during these years where I really couldn't move, and I would have flare-ups, and I would be like, you know what, how long do I think this flare-up's gonna last? All right, 500 pieces, 750, or 1,000, and that's, and I would sit there and puzzle.
That just sparks the understanding when you do live with a chronic illness. It sparks the understanding that it's not just physical things that affect you, it's your mentality at the end of the day and the stresses that you have in your life. So I'm assuming, because I'm not in your body, but I'm assuming that when you go to Disney, the stresses of your life and everything else, like the mentality you achieve while you're there, help you achieve remission. It's not just the magic of Disney.
No.
It's the stressors, the stress that you've been going through, you kind of, you bring those down, and then.
Because experiencing stress activates your illness, no matter what. Totally. Like I had someone, an actual doctor, a specialist, used to, well, he's not practicing anymore, but he used to prescribe his patients to go to therapy just to find like a mindset that would help achieve healing. So I feel like that is Disney for you, was your journey through that.
Which kind of brings
mind over body.
It's a little bit, and it's a little bit of a privilege because we live in Florida, and we were able to go, and the tickets at the time were only like, okay, I say only, we did like the payment plan thing, so it was like $18 a month. I think it was like $400 a year, but it was crazy.
Like $3,000 for $3,000 per person.
Now it's like $800, so that's also part of the reason we don't go anymore.
We ain't doing that. $1 billion,
but it was like $4 something when we started. It was great.
So you get this diagnosis.
Yep.
You meet your husband. You're starting the treatments. You do the stuff to improve your body's ability to
heal.
Absorb nutrients. You do the blood work and ozone work. You also, as necessary, supplement that with regular pharmaceutical drugs. Did I miss anything there?
So were you seeing improvements? What was the point that you said, okay, I feel this is the best I've ever felt, and that you start seeing the light at the end of the tunnel?
I think it's a tough question to answer because Tringali has this great sign, and it's like healing isn't linear, and it's the sign of
I love that sign.
Where you like are having ups and downs, and it didn't really click with me until I saw that sign because I just expected things to get better, and I'll feel better. But the reality is that my Lyme was chronic for so long that it did create damage. Even when I'm out of remission, I still get nerve pain, I still get neuropathy, I still get some of these long things that I don't know if they'll ever get better. I'm not sure. I still have the back pain. That's definitely never going away. But so it's hard to answer because I definitely felt better because I had felt worse, but I don't know if there was ever a point. I have to say though, after 7 years, because they say like 7 years your body like regenerates or forgets or I don't know, something like that. It was easier after 7 years because I had lived with it for so long. It was much more difficult when I had only had it for like a couple months, a year, 2 years, 3, 4, because I was like, I remembered life before and I would compare my life before to what I was dealing with then, which was way more difficult, where if I compare my life now to what I was dealing with 4 or 5 years ago, it seems way better. So I think it's a hard question to answer because I still have flare-ups. I still go in and out of remission. And so it's easier now because I know how to manage my symptoms and I know how to stop getting flare-ups. I'm also not early 20s, so I'm not trying to do nearly as much as I was. And life has slowed down a little bit for me, which has been such a blessing because so it's kind of, it just changes. I don't think there's ever a point where I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel amazing. Because even now, I think I've had like mold poisoning. I've had different things throughout the flare-ups and throughout these different things. And then I had some fertility things. And I don't think there's ever been a point where I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel amazing. And I hope, and I kind of am sad a little bit because as I'm like, oh, I loved my 20s. I had a great time, but I'm also like, am I ever really going to fully enjoy life the way that other people do? Because I'm doing everything with a lens of like pain and exhaustion.
Yeah, you're like other people, I mean, just in life in general, some people are further ahead for whatever reason.
Right.
And some people have more energy than other people. Like, I remember one time I was on this bachelorette party and one girl could just like go without sleeping the whole weekend. Yeah. And I'm like, how? How?
Yeah. Uppers? I don't know.
Are you okay? Do we need to do some testing? But no, like, it was remarkable, and she was fine, and she felt healthy, and she felt good, and, you know, just different people are at different places. So I feel like you have a lot of self-awareness. You have a lot of tools.
Yes. So I definitely try to focus on the brighter side, but it is sometimes everyone falls into that trap, I think, of like, oh, well, could it be different? And so that's hard.
You're living this new normal. Like your new normal is this pain-ridden at points, you know, times where you can fall into, you know, either remission or a flare-up.
Yeah.
But it's good that you've learned so much to be able to pull yourself out of that quicker because you have the tools, as Missy had said.
And
yes, that's the biggest thing.
What would be 3 main tools you recommend for someone who is struggling with chronic illness or with pain management?
Like, what's your go-to things?
Like, go-to things that you can...
Well, the problem is it's really depends
how
on
do you
my
cope?
symptoms.
How do you cope now with
your
day to day?
I wrote it down. Hold on.
Tell us all your secrets.
All your secrets.
For me, because I'm more of an extrovert, I reach out to my people, like my family and things, but sometimes you feel like a burden because you always have health problems. Like, it's kind of frustrating because I'm like, oh my gosh, am I wearing these people out? And I'm like, I don't want to be going through this. I don't want to be like burdening or wearing them out either. So that's kind of a tough mindset, but I will spend time with my family or do a puzzle, like do something that I like, which has changed over the years. My like coping mechanisms have changed as I have a kid. I don't have time to sit down and do a puzzle, and it will get destroyed the minute I try to do it anyway.
So finding a hobby that's something you're passionate
finding
about.
Finding a hobby that you're passionate about, finding something that you can do. I mean, I like church, and talking to other people there really was helpful. Listening to worship music helped. Journaling and doing like devotions was helpful for me. What else? Let's see.
Does food play a role into?
Yeah,
what you do?
I mean, I'm
holistic,
mostly gluten, dairy free. I don't really do any food dyes. I try to eat with low preservatives.
Just clean, essentially.
Yeah. Clean eating.
I eat clean.
I mean, I did have a cinnamon roll this morning, but that's
you got to celebrate sometime.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, like, sometimes people see that as such a tough thing. I think it's like, oh, I have to eat like that. But honestly, when you eat like that for a long time, it gets easier. And then, like, you'll eat like a cinnamon roll and you feel exhausted and terrible because you ate it. Like, physically, you just don't feel well. And you're like, oh, I'm not going to do that again. So
I don't know if it happens to you, but now I'm like, I even feel guilty going through the experience that I went with my husband. Like, if I look at the ingredients, I'm like, I'm not putting that in my body. Like, even I don't have sugar in my house. So all great alternatives like coconut sugar or maple syrup or honey. That's the same thing, believe me. And it tastes so much better, way better. But when you, and I'm not perfect. I had ice cream at 9 p.m. yesterday, celebrating my mom's birthday. But I'm not perfect. But when I'm able to make a decision, I try to make the best decision for my body, for myself.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to navigate that as like a parent going to parties and birthday parties. And it's
yes. And now Halloween today, candy.
I know. I'm going to go buy candy that I can switch my kids' candy out. He's 2. He won't notice and he won't care.
Yeah.
Wait, where do you go buy healthy candy?
They're Yum Earth. You can go to like Whole Foods, and I'm just gonna swap it out, and he probably won't care. It'll be fine. And then,
Young Earth. Okay.
I should probably be doing
Yum Earth.
I probably should be doing something. Well, I have Amara. I'll maybe just bring those.
I mean, I'm not gonna be like crazy forever, but it is hard because it's like, you know what it does to your body, and so I feel like the knowledge, but you can't stress yourself out either. So, but I'm still learning that line. I asked other moms that are a little further ahead that are clean eaters. I'm like, what do you guys do? And they're like, we struggle too. I'm like, okay, good.
Yeah. So you know what I do in school now? I tell them my son has a dairy allergy. He has a sugar allergy. He can't have refined sugar. And no gluten. So when they do parties, so I made muffins.
They must hate you.
They must hate me.
But you know what?
I made muffins.
You gotta do it.
You gotta do it. Everything he eats is coming from our house. He doesn't eat anything there.
I just put on for Sunday school, like only can eat snacks provided.
Yeah. And then the muffins, so the teacher said, well, sometimes we celebrate birthdays here. I don't know what to give them. No worries. I'll bring tomorrow. I'll make some muffins at home. And they have it in a Ziploc bag there, frozen. So when they do birthday, they'll bring Ethan's muffin out and he'll eat with the other kids.
I want to know I need to know how long this is going to last for you. Because there'll be a point.
I can't control it.
There'll be a point where he's like, I want the blue one just like everyone else.
Yeah, but my point, I know.
I'm hoping by then it will catch up. I'm hoping the world will catch up by then.
The fine line is like, I don't want to raise him as a person who is going to be afraid of things and super picky and feeling different from everyone else. Yes. But also, I want to teach him how to make smart decisions. Why we shouldn't be eating sugar. Right. Why? Because it doesn't, teach him why. So maybe in the future when he's 18 and older, he's able to make smart decisions about, or even younger than that. But
because you don't,
Do boys, like, because you were one of,
5.
Do you think your brothers would actually, like, if your mom had raised you and, like, not eating sugar at all, do you think they would listen?
I mean, my brothers now are all gluten-free, dairy-free, and like they've watched me.
It's impacted the whole family.
It's impacted my whole family, and my in-laws too. They're like super clean and healthy now, and they feel better. Like they're doing it on their own. I'm not making them do it. I'm not making my brothers do it. But
choosing it for themselves.
Yeah, they're choosing it for themselves. My 3 younger brothers, 2 of them play D1 hockey, and they are like, always trying to optimize their health. They're always calling me and, hey, these are the things I have going on, and what do I take, and what do I eat, and what do I do? And now they're in the program. And my youngest brother, who lives here, he's starting that process as well. He was a little, he didn't want to give up his food, and now he's like, I feel so much better, and he looks better, and he's he's doing great. So they're kind of choosing it themselves. My mom never forced it on them. She tried to, keep us in the right direction. She wasn't really buying like Doritos, but she also did a good job of like not making it a big deal. So I hope to find that line eventually, but they don't need sugar until they don't really ever need it. But there's so many studies out that up until 3, it's so important, and it's so important for their gut and longevity of their health. So, I mean, at least till 3, I'm hoping we can keep it going, but
as long as I can, I'll try to find that balance too. And like all of us, unfortunately, it's almost always like that. Until something happens to us, we don't take action on those items. Like we keep eating the way we eat until something happens, and then we're forced to like slow down. We're forced to take care of ourselves. We're forced to look inner instead of like, I don't know if I'm explaining myself, but we're forced to get there. But you've transformed your pain into purpose, and not only building a career in real estate, a mother, and all of that. We're going to touch by motherhood, but also developing your own healing cream inspired by your journey. How did that idea come to life, and what has it meant to create something that now to help other peoples as well?
I feel like I've created a lot of concoctions over the years. Because I'll find something that I like or works for me, but not quite. And then I kind of have to like keep tweaking it. And then I've used all of my amazing knowledge from Elizabeth Tringali and just diving into all of those things. And so I would try a lot of different like muscle balms and nerve balms and lotions, and nothing really worked. So I kind of created my own little thing, and I've used it on
Summer Sunshine.
I needed Summer Sunshine because everyone's like, it needs a name. And I'm like, fun. Brings me happiness. But I had horrible neuropathy in my feet. Like I couldn't even walk. It was so incredibly painful. And so that was really where I got desperate. And I think that can happen a lot of times where it's born out of desperation. So I made mixtures until something finally kind of worked, and I'm like, oh, well, maybe if I tweak this or tweak that. Even now I don't have like an exact recipe. I kind of will test it as I go and see what's helping. But we've used it on like sunburns, even just like, a regular burn, neuropathy, muscle pain, fatigue, all the different, or not like muscle fatigue and joint pain and all those things. And it works. So I make it myself. I've been trying, I had worked with 2 companies and it just didn't work out, but I'm still trying to make it. But I make it at home.
Keep pursuing that, please.
That's my biggest problem, is that I, will get far along with it, and then it had fallen out and I just didn't get back to it. So,
Well, thank you, and definitely I'll be looking forward to trying some of that cream. And so I feel like I remember we had this conversation one day in the office, and we were talking about babies, and you say, Summer, so are you planning to build a family, have babies? And you said, well, we just had our fertility numbers back, and What was that journey for you, and what was it?
Well, with all of my health things, I was concerned just because I've had ovarian cyst ruptures, and I never got diagnosed with endometriosis or polycystic ovary syndrome, but I did have different versions of the symptoms of it. So thank goodness, because I know that's a hard journey to have, but Lyme disease can mimic all these different diseases. So sometimes you don't really know like what's going on. It can mimic over like 300. So it mimics some of those. So I got my fertility tested just to see what was going on, and it came back with a very low egg count, which can vary and can change, but typically mine was very critically low. So Elizabeth was like, we can get these eggs healthy. We're going to get them fertile. And I'm like, okay, great. So she put me on a whole protocol, but it was very discouraging at first. But I'm like, you know what? I've been worse. And I felt on my heart, I felt like God was like, you're going to have kids. It's going to be, I got it. I'm like, all right, so we're going on another journey. Let's do it. So, I followed her protocol, and then I did get pregnant with my son. So the good thing is I think it takes a lot to discourage me in health things now, because I've had like a lot of bad news, and been able to overcome it. And I know that's not everyone's journey. I know a lot of times they can't, or not because of them, but I could have not had kids, and that would have been tough. But I was able to have my son, and my health got a lot better while I was pregnant with him. So that was really
remember
great.
You were like,
oh my gosh,
beautiful and just so
that was
active
my
and
aha
feeling
moment.
so good.
I was like, I should have 10 more of these.
Just have to be pregnant all the time.
You do feel a lot better after, while you're pregnant.
Not this pregnancy. I'm pregnant again, and it has been like having Lyme disease. If you've had a bad pregnancy, you've had a glimpse of what Lyme disease looks like, because it's a different thing every week. It's different symptoms, and you're like, what is going on? I mean, even if you had a normal pregnancy, your body's still doing weird stuff. So
it's a lot. It's a lot.
It is a lot.
And every pregnancy, I've heard that every pregnancy is different, and every experience is different.
Yeah,
so
it is.
Depends on where your placenta is, which we just learned.
I have an
anterior
I always get it
placenta.
confused, but I think I had how you have it now.
Yeah, that makes it
Yeah.
difficult. So
Okay, that's good to know. So how has motherhood changed your perspective in life now, dealing with a chronic illness, learning your body, learning how or when to slow down, managing now having a son and being pregnant now again?
Yeah. Well, one of the things is I think having my own child, but also I would, to kind of touch a little bit of before what we were talking about, is I would encourage everyone. I think a lot of people my age are like, oh, I'm going to have kids. I'm going to have kids in my 30s. It'll be fine. Everything's going to be great. And a lot of times it is, and it's beautiful. But I would suggest like not being afraid of the unknown. And I think that goes into like medical testing, but also being a parent. Yeah. So many people are afraid to know, or they don't want to know. And it's better to know and be able to do something about it. Like if I didn't know that I had egg quality issues, I might have never gotten pregnant. I might have taken a long time. I might have had to do IVF. And so many people are rightly or doing it in their own time. But even if with every medical thing, you're gaining weight and you can't tell why, or you're doing this and you're embarrassed, or you like have incontinence, or you have any of these problems, finding out knowledge is power. And so going back to that and getting those tests done, even though it's scary and it takes time, I've seen so many better outcomes because people have found out earlier. And that's, I think, helped me a lot in
being proactive,
with your health.
And learning your body,
being your
signs.
best advocate.
Yeah.
And even if you think, or your intuition's telling you something's going on, that you should do that. So
definitely.
Pulling that into motherhood, it's definitely been a challenge because I've had to prioritize things a lot differently. And, everyone talks about like being a girl boss and working mom and how great it is. I have like a kid, and then I have a full-time job of like my health, because it is like, it takes up, well, I guess it's more of a part-time job nowadays. Because that is like 15 to 20 minutes or 20 hours a week. And then also that, so it is hard because I really want to take on so much work and I really love doing that. But I've had to like rein myself in of like, okay, we're going to do less because it's better for you. And everything else in your life will be better, even though it doesn't feel like it. And the world kind of pushes us to do all of these things. And I feel that push and I want to do it all.
Yes.
But I'm definitely not a better mom. I'm not a better wife. I'm not a better sister and friend for doing that. So I think that it may be just a motherhood thing, but having that extra thing of like really having to make sure that I'm taking care of my health on top of it, because before I could just put myself into a flare up and not get up for a week out of bed and whatever, or go to the hospital. But now I can't do that. So I really have to manage it. And I have been in and out. And luckily I have, like I said, a great husband who does a lot around our house and takes care of our kid a lot. And I have family and I have friends who will pick up the slack. So we're very fortunate that we have such a great support system. And I haven't had too many Like I've had flare-ups and I've had problems, but it hasn't been anything that's put me in the hospital. Well, I had postpartum issues that put me in the hospital, but nothing Lyme disease related.
I'm like, we definitely have to make you come back here to really go through your birth, labor process and postpartum and all that. That's a whole podcast episode that we can do about that.
Yeah.
But I wanted to sort of like wrapping this up.
Yeah.
So, with all these issues that you have and your journey and still learning about your illness and all of that, when you look back now, what do you think this whole experience was meant to teach you?
I think that I have more to offer the world than I ever could have before. I think I would have just been like a normal person.
Which is what you were craving in your 20s.
I was craving it. I just wanted to be like everyone else. And now I can relate to anyone of any age. You've had kidney stones? Me too. Let's talk about it. You've had stomach ulcer ruptures? Me too.
We literally have to make a website. We had to make you a website.
I know.
We have to start writing.
I mean, you can't see it if you're listening, but I have 2 pages of all of the problems that I have. So yeah, I can relate to everybody. And I also love helping people. Like I said, I've been a caretaker of my siblings because I chose, not because anyone put me in that position. But I love it and I love helping others. And it really heals a part of me when I get to the opportunity to be let in on someone else's health journey, because I know how important and how vulnerable that you are in those moments. So to have somebody reach out, which I get like once a week, and it's the best. And it's like, hey, my friend, whatever, and I know you had this, and I'm connecting you guys. I got actually 2 yesterday, friends that did that, and I was like, yeah, okay, so here's all the different directions, and sometimes it's a little overwhelming, so I try to not make it overwhelming for people, but it's so beautiful. I never would have had that before. I never would have been able to have the level of understanding that I have of others, and I've been able to relate a lot better and empathize, and I think it's overall made me a better person. It's made me stronger in my faith. It's made me appreciate my friends and family way more than I ever did. So there's more appreciation in my life, and it's
gratitude,
overall better.
right? Yeah,
even though I I'm so mad about that a little bit, right? I'm like, oh, did I have to go through that? But yeah.
So wait, now you're someone else's miracle. Hey.
There you go. There you go. I hope so. That would be amazing. And I mean, we didn't even touch on like how financially draining all of this is and what a privilege it's been to, I mean, we still worry about it, and I budget like crazy, and I have all these I'm like, okay, when someone does text me, I'm like, what's your budget on this? How much do you want to spend? Because I've got we have different tiers of how far we can go and where we can start, because you could start at a lower thing and get as much, there. So it that's a whole nother
like bang for your buck type of thing.
Yeah. I am budget queen on trying to get everything I can as inexpensively as I can.
Yeah, it is. Because when you do more like holistic care and or not treating a symptom, but trying to fix the problem.
Right.
Our system doesn't support that in a financial
Which
sense.
I really hope
or even
that
just
that will
one
change.
income. Like my husband's income is what we mostly live on, because I do real estate, which is great, but it's up and down. And then also sometimes right now I'm not really doing as much because I'm pregnant and I have a toddler and I'm taking care of our family, and I'm trying to, this pregnancy's been really rocky, so I'm trying to kind of prioritize that. So that's hard too. So you've got that going on, and then I completely empathize with anyone about to go through health issues or going through them for that reason.
It's definitely such an experience of learning and advocating for yourself and educating yourself. Unfortunately, we have to educate ourselves of whatever issue we're dealing with, the struggles, because it is sad to, I'm not saying this is the case of every single doctor, but the way Western medicine works is just, let's put a Band-Aid on the problem instead of truly finding the root cause of the problem. And then that's why it's not towards a healing journey. It's more like just treat the symptoms and
take this drug.
Trade this drug. This is but we have this full magazine with a catalog
but here's
of all these medicines you can take
symptoms
forever, and you don't have a cure, by the way. But so that's not a good deal.
It's a
to
business at the end of the day, which is sad.
So
is
advocating for yourself.
Yeah.
There are good doctors. There are more bad ones. Finding good doctors.
Finding good doctors.
The other thing that I remember now is that finding social media people who had the same thing as me.
Yes.
Has been helpful. You don't want to get too trapped in it, because I know
for
social
sure.
media can be a lot, and I get overwhelmed all the time.
But it's a rabbit hole.
It's a rabbit hole, and don't chatty GPT your symptoms. But
It's not right every time.
It's not right every time, but it was super helpful for me. And then now so many more, and this was like back 8 years ago. So there's so many more people talking about what they're going through now, which really helped me connect. I connected with like
It's more openly, out there.
Yeah. Ironically, my best friend at the time, she's still my best friend, but at the time she and I both got diagnosed like within, a year of each other, because she was like, oh wait, all the stuff you're having, I'm having that. And then sure enough. So going through things with people with similar things is that was one of the other things that I got support in, and that was great. And so
sort of like tapping into that community with the same issues that you had, learning from them, from their experiences, their mistakes.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. And then I had a friend that who was like 2 years ahead of me, so she guided me. So finding the right people in your life that can guide you outside of the people that you already have was really helpful.
Is there any other final messages you want to leave our audience with?
I don't know.
I feel like we've said probably most of it, which is like, I will say, for anybody who is struggling with health issues, just to take a moment, try to work on the mind, your support system. Know that there is a solution for everything. The only thing that doesn't have a solution is death. But I feel that mindset, there is hope. Yeah. And things will get better.
So true. Yeah.
Everything is temporary, the good things and the bad things. So just finding your support system, working in your mind, learning your body, educating yourself about your disease. Yeah.
my friend always sounds way better.
And I think the big thing is, like, if you can't find the diagnosis, just keep on trying. Like, trust yourself, because if you have something that's there and you know it's there, but no one else is telling you it's there,
keep going.
Just keep on going, because you never know.
Never give up.
And then once you find out what it is, then you have you can name it, you can speak it, you can see it, and you can, and the fact that you now have all these tool sets in your back pocket,
and please don't take a no for an answer. And if a doctor is telling you something and it doesn't sit with you, it doesn't really go with your instinct, just keep going and try to dig deep into your lifestyle. You see if there's things that you can improve starting there, and just take everything else that you feel you need or you learn, but just do the inner work too.
Reprioritize, be resilient, even when it's hard. And sometimes if you get a doctor that's mean, you go home and cry about it. Like, seriously. And then get back up and keep going. And if resilience is hard, but it's good for your brain, it's good for your body, and it's not easy. Sometimes I'd cry for a couple days. But my friend was like, she's like, we can fix dying, we can't fix dead. And she always says that, and she's so true. Like, it's so true, and you don't know. You've got to go get answers. So if you're hearing this and like you've been kind of wavering on what you should do, like, go figure it out. And then also people can like reach out to you guys. I don't know how, but maybe an email or something, and they can text me. I'm already doing it. So please, you want to tell people your email or your Instagram or any ways to connect with you if they have questions about Lyme disease or any other illness that you might be helpful to them? I think my Instagram handle, I don't know.
I have it.
I'm not very active and I'm private, but send me a message. I'll see that. Like, I look at it. I just don't post a lot, but Sommer Rowan. Did I change it?
Yeah, well, it's Sommer. so the one thing to note is that it's Sommer_Rowan.
SOMMER.
SO.
Maybe you can put it in like the show notes.
It's not summer like summertime, but it's summer like with an O.
Well, I changed it. It was Summer 11, 521. But I was like, I feel like I should have a little bit. I'm 30. I should probably have like. I should have a more professional-ish.
Thank God we can change the handles.
I know. So it's Sommer SOMMER _Rowan ROWAN.
Okay, I'm sorry for speaking over you. But also, while you are not very active right now, you are an agent with Sotheby's, and you can Google Sotheby's Realty.
Yeah, she'll be there online.
Yeah. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I still work with clients. I just am not taking, like,
we just made a deal not too long ago.
We did. Last season I was super busy and I was assisting a lot and taking on my own deals, and it was really fun, but it's just not this season. I will be,
you're growing a human.
There are priorities. There are times when we do things and that's
one of
the
the
priority.
best things about real estate too, is that you can like pick up and drop off. I mean, again, we're lucky enough that my husband works full time, so we've got that going for us. But it's great as a mom. It's great with someone with health issues because I can take on what I can handle, and so that's one of the tools that I use to manage. Is like, and
don't take more than you can.
I'm learning that now. It took me the entire 20s, and I'm still not doing great at it.
I think it's so impressive.
We defaulted.
I'm a
in
guest
that, yeah.
person. I want to go to everything. I want to see everyone. I want to go to every lunch, and then my body's like, you will not. We're not doing any of that. You will not.
And socializing with people, networking is so exhausting, at least for me.
Well, I think it's so impressive that you like, you know, it is a hard, well, I guess I shouldn't say hardship, but you know, the fact that you were like, okay, this time I just kind of need to step back from my engagement in real estate. Like you're still engaged, but step back some, because you know, if you didn't, with everything you've got going on, that could trigger you out of remission, which if you had a flare up, then that would just cause so many other problems, and for the child, and your husband only has so many vacation days, you know, and that's really responsible to do that. And
it took a long time to figure that out, like way longer than it should have. But I'm doing it now.
You are doing it. That's what when you look back, you're in a lot better position. You're very blessed to have a family, a support system. You have your son. You're pregnant with your second son. One day you thought you would not have been able to do this, and look how far you've come.
I know.
So
it's so cool.
It's been great to like hear your story and
thanks.
hear you persevere, and then now you're helping others. So it's just like come a full circle in a sense.
It brings me so much happiness. I hate that other people have to go through anything ever. I just want to protect everyone. But it's so amazing. It's kind of like helping people in the houses. It's your body's a house
but
too.
It's, you know, everybody has their own journey they have to go through. And I think and I love that, and that's what I would love to keep finding ways how to improve that in my life, how to help others more efficiently and more consistently. I think that brings so much joy to your life, and just knowing you're helping someone else in whatever that might be. Could look like health issues, it could look something else in their life. But I think this speaks very highly of you too. That
sometimes I feel like it's selfish, because I'm like, you're actually helping me. Thank you so much. Helping you is helping me. Thank you.
That's beautiful.
That's so beautiful.
Like,
but
is this a selfish thing that I'm doing? Because it feels like it. Because it's so healing. It's just
it is so
great,
healing.
right?
That's the
You're
word.
very helpful. You always. She'll get calls from me for work, and she's always helpful.
I'll always be there. I mean, and it's not like I'm the expert, but I've been in real estate for quite a long, and we'll learn together, and that's what matters. But thank you so much for being in the show today.
It was really
been
fun.
an honor. This has been so much fun. Thank you. And so we've gave people your Instagram. If you have any questions, just reach out to Sommer. She'll be there for you too.
Absolutely. I'll guide you.
And we'll have you back for sure. We have to talk about motherhood more.
Oh my gosh, I know. Yeah, give me a few more months. Maybe we'll have even more. This next one.
All right. Well,
Love you.
Thank you guys.
Bye.
This is fun.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Thank you for listening. We had so much fun, and we'll look forward to spending time with you in the next episode.
Please subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at The Real Pink Diaries. You can also find us on YouTube. Check out our show notes for additional ways to connect with us.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.